Hello, everyone. This is Jasmine Jones from the ELPS 604 course, The Role of Principalship. I will be presenting my PSEL and North Carolina Standards for School Executives PowerPoint from information that I learned from the course syllabus as well as from the chapter. Why should school leaders have standards? I feel like school leaders should have standards. For one, it helps with accountability, not only for student success, teacher success, but for the overall leader professional success. I feel like this will help the leader with the growth and the career because it holds them accountable for everything that is going on within the school. I feel like it also promotes student and teacher success. Ultimately, you want to see teachers grow in the profession, and you also want to see students be successful within the school. So having these standards help with building the teacher success as well as the student success. And I feel like the expectations of what school leaders and teachers should know and have, like these standards, because not only does teachers need standards, the executive leaders, they need standards too, because it's the expectation part. You know what to do to become proficient, to be developing, to be distinguished in that area. These standards help build towards that distinguished category. So for the professional standards for educational leaders, there are 10. Standard 1 is mission, vision, and core values. Standard 2 is ethics and professional norms. Standard 3 is equity and cultural responsiveness. Standard 4 is curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Standard 5 is community of care and support for students. Standard 6 is professional capacity of school personnel. Standard 7 is professional community for teachers and staff. Standard 8 is meaningful engagement of families and communities. Standard 9 is operations and management. And Standard 10 is school improvement. So for the professional standards for educational leaders, the top two that I feel like all educational leaders should master, I feel like, in my opinion, Standard 8, the meaningful engagement of families and communities. I think this is an important standard because it goes back to making meaningful and impactful relationships to help build student success. It's getting everybody involved. It's getting a team together outside of the school, which is the community and families, to help build towards their student success. You can also create relationships outside of the school to provide opportunities for student success, whether it's someone that has a daycare within the community. You can make a relationship with them where they might want to offer free tutoring services. It's all about building and making relationships. It's about building trust. The students see that not only do the teachers and the staff trust me, but members in the community trust me, my family trusts me, they all trust me so that I can do what I need to do so that I can be successful. And it builds that support system. You might have a random person in the neighborhood or in the community, such as like a firefighter or someone, but they see that this is a child from the school down the street. They have already they have that connection because they've seen this child from the school. This child has seen them from the school, so that if anything is going wrong, they're able to have that open communication with them. So it's like a support system, so that you can have that team outside of school to help with student success. I also feel like Standard 4, curriculum, instruction, and assessment, is a top standard that educational leaders should master because it helps promote growth. It helps to read and to interpret data for that student and teacher success within the school, because ultimately you want your students to be successful. So the leader should know how to read and interpret data so that growth can be done within the school. And also knowing the content to help teachers show growth and proficiency. You may have a beginning teacher that knows what they're doing, but because they do not know how to deliver the content, it may be hindering them in the profession. So as a executive leader or educational leader, you should be able to step in and have this conversation with this teacher so that they can know, I see that you know what you're doing, but I want to help you. I want to help guide you. So knowing the content can help guide a teacher so that they can become proficient and then to that next level be distinguished in teaching. The North Carolina standards there are 8 of them: strategic leadership, instructional leadership, cultural leadership, human resource leadership, managerial leadership, external development leadership, micropolitical leadership, and academic achievement leadership. For the North Carolina standards for educational leaders, the first one I feel like they should master would be instructional leadership, which is knowing the best instructional and school practices for the creation of collaborative structure within the school, for design of highly educating student work for students, the ongoing peer review of this work, and sharing this work throughout the professional community, which goes back to knowing or having knowledge of the 21st century curriculum, supporting your teachers' needs, again, to help develop these beginning teachers, or even veteran teachers that may need some more development, especially towards the 21st century curriculum. Being able to have open conversations about instruction and having those high expectations for your students and for your staff. I feel like that goes back to instructional leadership, and that should be something that should be mastered. I also feel like micropolitical leadership, which is building systems and relationships that utilize staff diversity, encourage constructive ideological conflict in order to leverage staff expertise, power, and influence to realize the school's vision for success. This goes back to having a strong school improvement team to make decisions. You cannot be a school leader and think that you can run this school by yourself. You need a powerful team. You need leaders and stakeholders that are not scared to have their voice heard. You need to be accessible for your teachers and staff. Your staff and teachers should be able to feel comfortable talking to you, and you should be comfortable talking to them. Because again, you cannot run a school by yourself. And that goes back to me, Standard 7, micropolitical leadership. You are wearing multiple hats, but you still need to know that you cannot do this by yourself. The reflection on the standards, I feel like once I become a principal, Standard 7 from the professional standards for educational leaders, professional community for teachers and staff. It goes back to making your staff feel appreciated and valued. I, as a teacher now, know what it feels like to not feel appreciated and valued. And once I become a principal, I don't want my teachers to feel like they're not appreciated and valued. So I feel like that would be my main focus. So I feel like that may be an easy standard for me, because I know what it feels like firsthand on not feeling appreciated and valued. A tough standard for me, I believe, would be Standard 2 from the professional standards of for educational leaders, ethics and professional norms. I feel like it would be tough for me at first, because I just want to make sure that at all times I'm being ethical and not making any biased decisions that will affect my staff, my teachers, and my students. So I think that one will be a challenge for me. And as a future principal, I can only hope that I continue to grow in the profession so that I won't make any non-biased decisions. And then as I start to conclude, I feel like both the professional standards for educational leaders and the North Carolina standards for school executives go hand in hand, although some may be different, but I still think both standards still lead to student success. Although they are different, but I believe that the standards, both sets, still help lead you to student success, and it guides you as an executive leader so that you can grow in the profession and so that you can have a staff that's going to grow in the profession as well. So thank you.